to the Financial Follies. My name's Imogen. I'm this year's president of the New York Financial Writers Association. If everyone could take their seats, the show will be beginning in a little bit, and I hope everyone has a good evening.
Isn't this supposed to be a dance? Let's dance! It's taking so hard, whole system impaired. All savings are shot, those bailouts didn't work. Stock market's reeling, and China's going on down. Let's raise the ceiling, so now and think that we'll drown. And everything is debt loss, kiss off retirement funds. Please believe, the economies are on their knees. You're up, that's whack, it's only gonna crack. Banks, they're done. Everything is at net loss. Things were going so well, just borrow everything. We leveraged round the globe, then burden each street to go. Anybody could have told you that this was not gonna fly. The budget shot through. Can't just print money to get by. If you think it's not lost, get lost. It's no retirement fund. Ooh-wee, Betty, twist it for me. Whoa, you're gold. Come on, you know. Greece is done. Everything is at that house. They're not gonna turn it around with the stimulus to be back. Now China's in shortage of cash. We're hoping for red net loss. Kiss off retirement funds. Squeeze and freeze. Spending till we all bleed. Please believe that by the next leave, we'll be back with markets in the black. Or we're screwed. 'Cause everybody's down, everybody's down. Everybody's down, everybody's down. Everybody's down and everybody's fucked. Everybody's at net loss.
I'm Poppy Harlow at CNN Money. We'll call it the autumn of discontent for the European economy. Massive debt problems, governments being toppled, rioting in the streets. How new is all of this? For some historical perspective, let's bring in the legendary Myron Kandel, who has certainly seen it all. Myron, where did this begin? Myron, we're rolling. Myron? Hi. Were you sleeping?
No, I was just resting my eyes, Poppy. What was your question?
I was asking about Greece and Italy and the roots of the latest unrest.
Greece. Those problems go way back. Remember Socrates in ancient Athens? He was so worried that its budget deficit was climbing so high that he got depressed. And then he drank some hemlock. Poor fellow.
Socrates? I mean, that's going back about 2,500 years. What about today? What about the creation of the Eurozone and this crisis?
The Roman zone. Yes, indeed, Rome did rule the world 2,000 years ago, but its debt was getting out of hand. It got so big that in the year 55 BC, it was Cicero who warned that the Roman Empire was facing bankruptcy and eventual collapse. And we know what happened. In fact, things got so bad that today's government in Rome had to pick an economist. Yes, an economist to run the country.
All right, Myron, but let's try to bring it back to our shores, the U.S. economy, what's happening now. What's your best advice for Treasury Secretary Geithner?
Secretary of the Treasury, that's a tough job. Remember Alexander Hamilton, the first one to hold that position and the creator of the Bank of New York? Nobody advised him to stay away from that duel with Aaron Burr. He was too proud, and he should have worn a bulletproof vest. You know something? In those days, they shot bankers.
Hamilton and Burr, that's 1804. What about the U.S. economy today? 9% unemployment, Occupy Wall Street, entitlements. What about that?
Entitlements, a good idea, but a big problem. Remember who started them? Otto von Bismarck, Chancellor of Germany in the 19th century, a very tough guy, very anti-socialist, but today he might even be called a bleeding heart liberal for creating health insurance and retirement pensions. Go figure.
Okay, Myron, we know that you're a longtime financial writer. So do you think that profession today can have a real impact?
It could have had a very important impact if we had just listened to the first great financial writer who gave the best personal financial advice ever. Advice that could have prevented all our problems today.
Who was that?
William Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, a great writer of tragedies and comedies. But come on, Myron, financial advice?
How soon they forget. It was in his play Hamlet that he wrote those immortal words for Polonius to speak.
Those words were?
Neither a borrower nor a lender be. I rest my case for financial writers.
Myron Kendall, thank you so much for being on the program. We always appreciate it.
Jamie, who can we turn to? You said it's standard, we're too well bred to
Welcome to this year's weekday update for the 2011 Financial Follies. From CNN, I'm Christine Romans.
And I'm Ali Velshi. After some political haggling, Greece finally has an interim prime minister. He'll be the first person to hold that position with fewer than 30 letters in his last name.
Over at the Vatican, the Pope is praying Italy's next prime minister will be able to fix the nation's debt problems. More importantly, he's praying that the new prime minister will be able to keep it in his pants.
Top Obama advisor David Axelrod says congressional Republicans are destroying the economy on purpose. The president, he says, is only doing it by accident.
Financial experts tell Rick Perry that there should be three parts to his economic platform: tax reform, job creation, and... oops.
You forgot? I forgot. Rick Perry has unveiled a flat tax plan that he says will be optional. Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner has blasted the plan as unoriginal, reminding everyone that for him, paying taxes was optional for years.
Sales of Nintendo's Wii are falling. It turns out its best customers just discovered girls.
Social Security payments will go up by 3.6% next year. In a related story, the price of Viagra and Cialis has just gone up by 3.6%.
President Obama has still raised more money from Wall Street donors than any Republican presidential candidate, leading most people to finally realize that Occupy Wall Street is not a protest movement, it's the president's collection agency.
Breaking news, John Corzine has been sentenced to the harshest penalty allowed under the law: life in New Jersey without the possibility of parole.
The government is about to ban over-the-counter asthma inhalers because they're supposedly bad for the ozone layer. So, in other words, the feds want you to have cleaner air. They just don't want you to be able to breathe it.
And state and city governments have cut more than 500,000 jobs over the last 3 years. It's not clear what's worse for the laid-off workers: the fact that they're out of work, or the fact that no one notices any differences.
Governor Jerry Brown has unveiled his new jobs plan for California. It starts by advising everyone to look for work in Arizona.
Some Democrats still want President Obama to raise the debt limit by using the 14th Amendment. Most of America just wants politicians to use the 5th Amendment and shut the heck up.
In the last 2 years, Texas has accounted for half of all the net payroll increases in the entire country, most of them employed by oil companies to count their money.
With all of the debt problems in the U.S., Swiss francs have become a new favorite for investors. They're not worth much either, but they taste like chocolate.
Sadly, everyone's favorite television curmudgeon, Andy Rooney, has passed on. But the word from on high is that Andy is unhappy in heaven because he can't find anything to complain about.
While employers have been cheap with promotions in recent years, people have been making up for it by anointing themselves with these self-aggrandizing titles on LinkedIn profiles. For example, social media guru means you have a Facebook account. Thought leader means you clicked like on something. And demigod means you're not an idiot.
A recent report said more Americans are moving to China for work. However, this is not going to help the unemployment rate here. That's because the U.S. doesn't count employment among 7 to 10-year-olds.
For a weekday update for the 2011 Financial Follies, I'm Ali Velshi.
And I'm Christine Romans.
I'm Ali Velshi.
And I'm Christine Romans.
Keenly we told tools and down at each restaurant. Thanks to the ledger for blacking out and to Rupert Murdoch too, for having unfurled the news of the world in the telephone hacking crew. Thanks to the Tea Party's brain friction for giving us all these chills. John Corzine, God bless, one stupid and up, you tossed our stand-up skills. Over the limit, misunderstood, on Grandmother Rockland's chest. Frank Reeser, HB, and Berlusconi for the best follies yet.
Hi, TechCrunch.
What's the story? Morning glory.
What's the deal? Mighty deal. Have you heard about the one we think you know?
Life hacker. What's the story? Morning glory.
What's the word? Hummingbird.
Have you heard online tech is back in? What's the new IPO? Is the stock trading high? Did you buy it and tweet? Or sell on the sly?
Have you heard of LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Everything that you should.
Oh.
Tell me right now. Social media is good.
Mr. Teal, sir, this is Dennis Crowley. Can I talk to Mark Zuckerberg? He does love LinkedIn. Zuckerberg, what connected and how? About our price, I just helped to review it. I can talk to you now.
It's a city.
No, it's mad.
It's a city.
It's crazy mad. You know it. No new wealth. Not at all. Values fly, then they fall. Mr. Ballmer, this is Dennis Crowley. Buying us is overdue. I am Groupon. I am stupid. Why not work on something worth more?
It's cash.
You need head.
Understood.
What's your model?
Think the word.
Are you nutty?
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Armstrong. Has AOL found a home yet?
Have you heard of LinkedIn? It's a city.
It's ready.
It's a city.
It's ready. It's empty when you wanna grow. Social gets the dough. Industry is old. Social gets the gold. Real stuff is the move. That's the point of view. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man.
Dorothy, do you think that you could help us out and find a place where you could repay your debt?
Some place that I can repay debt? Do you suppose there's such a place, Soros? There must be. It's not a place that you can get to by a bailout. It's far, far away, beyond the EMU, beyond the IMF.
Someday stronger